On the day of the wedding shoot, I saw a message my fiancée sent to her ex. "I'm not marrying him. I'll only ever marry you in this lifetime." That night, her ex posted on social media, "The happiest thing in life is that the food stall I love is still there. And so is the person I like." I posted too, with the wedding photos taken 3 hours ago. My fiancée wasn't her anymore. "Nick, maybe we should not shoot today. Let's reschedule." A staffer poured me a cup of tea, cautiously asking. I glanced at the time. An hour had passed. Wendy still hadn't come back. Today was the day we planned to take our wedding photos. But earlier, while I was changing into my tuxedo, she said she had an urgent work thing and had to leave. "Wait for me," she said. The makeup artists gathered and looked at me with sympathy. Seems like even they knew Wendy wasn't coming back. When she hurriedly left, she dropped her phone on the couch. I saw her chats with her ex. Howard asked, "Are you leaving me?" Wendy replied, "How could I? You're the one I've chosen for life." Her words were so sure, unlike when she said to me at first, "Nick, let's give it a try." Howard was her first love, her ideal guy. They dated for 5 years but broke up due to the long distance. And me? I was just some irrelevant guy. "Let's continue," I said. The staffer looked shocked. I pointed at the girl sitting lazily in the corner, wearing a black skirt that left her long legs nowhere to hide. "She's your new model, right? Tell Mike I'll cover her fee for this session. Double it." "Mike's my buddy, the owner of the bridal store." The staffer hesitated, but went over and whispered something to her. The girl turned to look. I thought, jackpot. With that face and body, these wedding photos are going to be stunning. She nodded to the staffer. The model, a college junior named Nina, was working a part-time job over the weekend. Probably her first gig like this. She was inexperienced, but with her looks and physique, the photos turned out gorgeous. A few times, I found myself staring at her face, lost in thought, trying hard to think of the mess Wendy left me to calm down. Finally, I added her contact information and sent her money. "Thanks," I said. She was humble and polite. "Thanks, big brother. You can book me for your next shoot." Relying on Mike's support, I had the staff pick some photos to retouch and send them to me. That night at home, I saw that Howard posted on social media. A bustling food stall and a familiar woman's hand in the picture. The engagement ring gone. "The happiest thing in life is that the food stall I love is still there. And so is the person I like." I also shared the new wedding photos. And my social media blew up. "Nick, what are you doing?" Wendy finally remembered me, calling first with a demanding tone. Lying on the couch, I watched my likes and comments climb. Pleased. Most comments raved about Nina's looks. "Such a stunning beauty. Wow, just wow." Her looks surely captured more attention than Wendy, who isn't my fiancée anymore. "Can't you tell? I'm shooting bridal photos. I asked Mike 3 months ago to save the best makeup artist and photographer for my big day. How'd the photos turn out?" Wendy was silent for a moment, then spoke weakly. "Sorry, Nick. I really had something come up today. I didn't mean to miss it. I said we could reschedule, right? Did you tell me?" I asked in surprise, opening our chat box. Turns out, she did inform me an hour ago. She was likely pouring her heart out to Howard at a food stall then. How thoughtful of her. Remembering me, left behind in the bridal store. "Oh, just saw it. Sorry, I was busy choosing photos then." I asked, "So when did you mean by reschedule? In the next life?" Silence fell across the line. I chuckled. "People say 10 temples can be destroyed, but not a marriage. Since you're sure he's your choice, I won't hold you back. Maybe it'll earn me some good karma." With that, I hung up. Mike called next, opening with a bombshell. "Nick, what's up with your social media post?" After a moment's hesitation, "You don't feel like letting it go, do you? I've already got 200 likes, and it's still climbing. I saved you a ton on promo costs." Mike sighed deeply. "Evidently, I heard what went down at the store today. What I'm asking is, you're just changing the bride in your wedding photos directly. How do you explain this to the elders?" I shrugged. "Wendy should worry about that, not me. Wendy and I were co-workers. Met when people talked about her recent breakup with her first love. A lot of guys were into her because, by looks and skills, she was indeed great. As work progressed, we grew fond of each other. When she confessed, she said she wanted a new relationship and life with me. And I thought everything was supposed to go smoothly, until our engagement announcement. A stranger added me on contact information, only saying one sentence: "Wendy's allergic to alcohol, make sure she doesn't drink." Then I knew. That was her ex, Howard. With just a word, he could make Wendy drop everything and turn back. Mike thought it over. Right, her folks are teachers, aren't they? This must be a hit to their reputation. Not my business, I said. In the comments, some didn't know Wendy and my story and were squealing in envy. Wow, that body, those looks. Is this super sweet too? Followed by a winking emoji. Feeling happy, reflecting on the shoot, honestly replied, of course. Young, with great flexibility. After posting, I realized it sounded off. I was about to delete it when I saw Nina liked it. How did I forget I added her on contact information too? Nina shouldn't be able to see this, right? Thinking like this, I still nervously hit delete. Regretful. She's only 20, not appropriate for kids. Monday, as soon as I stepped into the company, I became the center of attention. Can't blame them for gossiping. It's just that Wendy and I are still colleagues. When we crossed paths in the hallway, she didn't look so good. Her whole demeanor seemed worn out. Probably spent the whole weekend explaining to her parents about calling off the wedding. Her parents even called me. I managed to say I didn't want to hold her back before my parents snatched the phone and gave Wendy a piece of their minds. They haven't called since. Wendy and Howard had been at the point of discussing marriage before. She even came home to meet my parents. So they knew about Howard. I guess it's not hard to figure out what happened this time. When she saw me, her eyes lit up a bit. She walked quickly towards me. "Nick, can we talk?" I gestured with the files in my hand, smiling politely. "Sorry, work time. A bit busy. If there's anything, just text me." I had already deleted her contact info. Wendy's face fell immediately. She pinched the bridge of her nose, looking all sorts of exhausted. "Do we have to be like this? I know I was wrong before, but those words were said impulsively. Please forgive me. The hotel is booked. Invites are out. How do I explain this to our relatives and friends? Now she thinks about all this? If there's nothing else, I'll go now." I couldn't be bothered with her long speeches, so I turned to leave. Wendy lost her patience, her tone turning annoyed as she grabbed my wrist. "What do you want?" "Yes, the things I said hurt you. But didn't you post wedding photos with someone else on social media?" "Nick, did you do this to spite me?" "Who said I did it to spite you?" I interrupted. Wendy seemed amused, like hearing a joke. "Isn't it? How long has it been since you met her?" 3 days? Gotta say, Wendy and I know too many of the same people. It's a hassle. You've seen the photo, right? Do you think liking someone like her is difficult? I countered, just like leaving someone often only takes a moment. Wendy was left speechless. My phone suddenly rang, giving me a chance to pull my hand away from Wendy. "Hello?" A cheerful voice came through. "Nick, college reunion tomorrow night, same place. You in?" That was my college roommate, Jason. Quickly replied, "Sure." He chuckled, "Cool. But bring your significant other. Okay? How about your girlfriend? Bring her over for us to meet." This guy's a player, naturally into such things. Wendy was nearby, probably heard most of it. On impulse, I agreed, sure. I immediately regretted it, though. Nina and I are in this together because I paid her. Now I'm stuck with the promise I made. After much hesitation, I contacted Nina. "Hey, Nina. Free tomorrow night?" After a bit, Nina replied, "Is there a new shoot, Big Brother?" "No, it's a different gig. I need to hire you to pretend to be my girlfriend. Hourly rate. How does that sound?" Maybe because I was generous, Nina thought about it and then agreed. Okay. I breathed a sigh of relief. If this gets Wendy completely out of my life, I'm more than happy to pay for this little act. I transferred the advance payment with the message. "Here's the order. The rest will be settled tomorrow after we're done. Thanks, sis." The meetup was at a bar. After work, I drove to pick Nina up from her college. It's not easy being a working student, so I covered her travel expenses. Seeing her, I had to do a double take. Today, Nina wore just a simple white tee, black track pants, and sneakers. Her short hair casually hung down, slightly covering her sharp and deep-set eyes. Really, just standing there, she was already winning. They're all my college friends, and we're on good terms. No need to be nervous. I reassured her. Nina smiled, nodding sweetly. Okay, big brother. She was so sweet. I felt at ease. But that good mood disappeared the moment I walked into the bar and saw Wendy. This woman just won't go away. Seeing me, Wendy approached. Nick. Her eyes settled on Nina with a mix of shock and amusement. Don't you think this is too childish? I felt my temper rise, but before I could respond, Nina suddenly grabbed my hand tightly. She bit her lip, looking a bit wronged. Was bringing me here just to make her jealous? Big brother? Wow, sis has got some acting chops. I leaned in, speaking loud enough so Wendy could hear. Of course not. I only like you. The bar's dim lighting still let me see Wendy's face go dark. Just then, her phone lit up with an incoming call. I caught a glimpse of Howard's name, but Wendy just hung up and looked at me again. Nick, stop this. Do you really want to be a laughingstock? Can we talk this out later? I didn't get a chance to speak when Nina stepped forward, shielding me. Big brother already said he doesn't want to go with you. Can't you understand? Wendy pointed at her, anger oozing out. Who are you to interfere with us? Wendy, what's the deal? My head was ready to explode. Don't forget, we have nothing to do with each other anymore. How dare you yell at her? Nina half turned, protecting me, softly reassuring. Big brother, don't get mad because of me. I'm okay. Wendy was beyond furious. Just then, her phone relentlessly rang again. Oh boy, what's going on? Our commotion grabbed quite a bit of attention. Jason pushed through with some friends. Seeing Nina, their eyes lit up, then they turned to handle Wendy. Hey, what's Wendy doing here? You didn't hang out at the food stall with your guy today. Huh? Wendy's face froze. TSK. Jason, the master of sarcasm. Look at that. One-liner and Wendy's speechless. Wendy ended up leaving. As she walked away, I overheard her on the phone, whispering to Howard about something. She was with a client and missed it. She'd be back soon. She's something else. What's going on in her head? Didn't care when she had you. Now that you're broken up, she's crawling back. While Nina was in the restroom, Jason slid over, grilling me with questions. I thought about it. She probably just likes exes. Now I'm the ex. So here we are. Whatever. You've got a new girl now. Nothing like that trashy one. Jason gave me a knowing look. Seriously. With that face, she's top tier. I know a lot of girls, and none of them compare to yours. Leaning closer, his voice dropped, excited. So, tell me, is she something else? As Nina headed our way, my heart jumped. I hope she didn't hear that. I pinched Jason quickly. What's there to say? Jason's eyes went wide. Didn't you say it yourself last time? First thing you did was praise her waist. Nina's steps suddenly stopped. On the way back, she was unusually quiet. Finally, I braced myself to explain. Hey, don't get me wrong. I meant during the photo shoot you seemed really strong. Nothing else. Nina turned to look at me. Her lashes fluttered slightly. Her gaze clear and innocent. Oh, the guilt. She's just focusing on work, and I'm thinking about this nonsense. Nina softly said, I know, bro. My heart sank. She knows. She must see right through me. When the car stopped at their school's gate, it was already dark. As she was getting out, I quickly called her again. Sis? Nina paused, looking back. Her eyes seemed to brighten for a second. I coughed. Thanks for today. If you ever need help, just ask. Her eyes dimmed briefly, then returned to normal. No worries. If you need anything, I'm here. My heart fluttered. Such a young, beautiful face, pure eyes, and ambiguous words. Who could handle that? I quickly looked away, smiling. Of course. It's fine to joke, but nothing serious with her. That would just ruin her. Nina's smile faded a bit. Her lips tightened. I pretended not to notice, waved, bye sis. As Nina got out, the car suddenly felt much roomier. That strange tension in the air mostly dissipated. Just as I was about to leave, I heard cheerful voices nearby. Someone shouted Nina's name. I instinctively turned to look. 4 or 5 young guys and girls, just back to school, too, seemed to run into her. "Nina, back so late?" a girl called out while glancing curiously at me. "What was so urgent you bailed on us?" "Yeah, didn't Nina say she was free tonight?" "Turns out she ditched us for something else." "Personal stuff," Nina replied coolly. Her back to me, she seemed more aloof. Totally different from her sweet demeanor earlier. Makes sense, they were calling her Nina J. She's probably someone important in her circle. I lowered the window and waved to them. "Hey there." The guy who'd talked earlier froze. His tone shifted from casual to awkward and shy. "Nina, is this your brother?" A clear voice chimed in. A guy in a white shirt, heart-shaped face and curious eyes. I got it instantly. He likes Nina. So obvious. Before I could nod, Nina interrupted. "No," she said, "he's my boyfriend." The place went dead silent. They all stood in shock. When they looked at Nina, their gazes shifted. "Whoa, Nina J, when did you get such a hot boyfriend?" Broad-shouldered, dashing. "You hit him well." "Yeah, our school beauty, always in the lab or library." Now this bombshell news. I looked up, met Nina's earnest gaze. Using me as a cover, huh?" "All right," I winked at her, smiling. "Of course I'd help. I did say I'd help if she ever needed it. Now here's my chance. This'll shake up the guys at school." Another girl cut off mid-sentence, glancing hurriedly at Heart-Face Boy. His face locked since Nina's reveal. Apparently, his crush is common knowledge. Nina didn't seem bothered. Leaning towards me, she said, "Nick, drive safely." My heart skipped. Nobody's ever called me by my name like that. This warm, caring girlfriend-like. Looking away, I nodded. "Of course, Nina J." Nina blinked, then turned aside, quietly responding, "Mm." In the evening light, her ears seemed flushed. Waving at her classmates, I drove away. In the mirror, I saw them swarm around her. As we chatted, I kept glancing over this way. The guy was trailing behind them at a slight distance, his head bowed slightly. Another guy next to him seemed to be whispering reassurances. It made me a bit emotional, but it figures. A girl like Nina must be really popular at school. After that night at the bar, Wendy hadn't reached out to me privately. We were back to just being co-workers. So, when I received an invitation to Wendy and Howard's wedding, I was pretty surprised. "Whoa, she actually invited you?" Mike sat up straight. I tossed the invitation over to him. I even heard she wrote my name on it herself. Not showing up seems a bit disrespectful. Mike studied the invitation for a while and clicked his tongue. "It's at the same hotel you guys picked, the same banquet hall, even the same day. They literally bumped you off without changing a thing. Inviting you is just like rubbing it in your face, right?" I shrugged. "That hotel's hard to book. You've got to cut her some slack." "You're cutting her slack? Shouldn't she show a little understanding to you too? Don't tell me she didn't know that was the day you and Wendy had planned to get your wedding photos done. How is it she just happened back home on that exact day?" I didn't want to dwell on the past. Bad luck. But there's something even luckier. I pressed my finger to my temple. The real kicker? Wendy invited Nina too. Mike paused, muttering, "Do those two have something wrong with their heads?" My head was pounding. Probably. But now the big question is, how do I tell Nina about this? Asking her to pretend to be my girlfriend is one thing, but bringing her to my ex's wedding? I can't even picture it. Why not just decline? I'll be sitting with a bunch of coworkers anyway. No biggie. Just as I was saying this, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered it, and it turned out it was Wendy on the line. "Nick." She slurred a bit, sounding drunk, like she'd had a few too many. "Nick, I've missed you." I held the phone away, rubbing my ear. "Wendy, your wedding invite is still in my hand. Could you sober up a little and drop the act?" It seemed like she either heard me or didn't, but her voice suddenly became eager. "I'm sober, Nick. I've never been more sober than I am right now. I really miss you. I thought being with him would go back to how it used to be, but it hasn't. I miss you so much." Her voice radiated pain. "Please don't ignore me. Don't be with someone else. I'm sure now it's you that I love. Nick, give me another chance. We can start again, okay? Listening, I couldn't help but laugh softly. Wendy, are you addicted to this? Once wasn't enough, you need a sequel? The line went silent. Just as I was about to hang up, a guy's voice cut in. Nick, that's Howard, right? Although we hadn't formally met, I'd overheard their phone conversations back when Wendy and I were together. So I knew it was him. Wendy's drunk, sorry about that. He sounded like he was stepping aside. When he spoke again, his tone was low, angry, and bitter. Nick, messing around with someone else's fiancée, is that fun for you? I almost thought I'd misheard him. When I realized what he'd said, I couldn't stop myself from laughing. Howard, shouldn't you be asking yourself that? Howard let out a cold laugh. I'm not like you. Wendy and I, we go way back 5 years. She really loves me, only me. You were just her compromise with her folks. Oh great. Having someone like Wendy love me? That sounds like a nightmare. Anyway, congratulations on your happily ever after. Wish you two all the best. Howard angrily hung up. Mike, who'd been listening in, looked at me curiously. So, you still going to the wedding? Why wouldn't I? They invited me to witness their happiness. Got to honor that. I was about to message Nina when Mike said, Hey, she's been pretty busy lately. Why don't you just call her? Curious, I asked, busy with what? Not sure, some modeling competition or something. I heard it from some folks at the shop. Mike shrugged, a mix of admiration and regret on his face. Because of that, she hasn't been taking on any photo gigs lately. Funny to think you're the only guy she's really done wedding photos with. It sounded kind of weird, but somehow, his words lifted my sour mood. What can I say? She's amazing. I dialed Nina's number and told her about the wedding next Saturday. Are you sure about the date? She asked. Quickly said, yeah, but it's totally cool if you're busy. Focus on your stuff. Suddenly, Nina's voice was filled with a hint of delight. How did you know I've been busy? Oh right. I heard it from people at the shop. I stammered, knowing she was aware Mike and I were pals. There was a brief pause before Nina broke the silence, chuckling as she agreed. The competition ends Friday, so I'll be free. I sighed in relief. Great, I'll pick you up. No need, Nina replied. I know the place. I'll just meet you there. Thanks, Nina, I said, beaming. After hanging up, I glanced up to see Mike pinching his nose. What's that smell? Oh, it's the scent of love in the air. I gave him a nudge with my foot. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not going to go for her. She's so young. What kind of person would I be? Seriously? Mike was wide-eyed. Nick, just stringing her along without plans to settle down is such a player move. Mike made a slight click with his tongue. Even if I'm a guy, that smile you just gave made me feel like you really liked me. Imagine how a pretty girl would feel. I got it, I'll avoid doing that next time. Mike looked at me with a hopeless gaze. Go grow old alone. At the wedding, I sat at a table with a few colleagues when I heard some people gossiping behind us. They have the nerve to show up here. Well, they're shameless like that. Probably can't let it go. Huh? Feelings can't be forced. Wendy only ever liked Howard. Still, it's good they came. Seeing the couple firsthand might help them move on. I turned around and saw a few guys at the next table, friends of the bride. I said, seriously, you guys sound like you don't know. I was the one who dumped the bride. By the way, my current girlfriend is much prettier than Wendy. The group went silent, and the atmosphere got super awkward. I pointed to the couple on stage. I picked that backdrop. Nice, right? Anyway, isn't it funny how the bride kept the decor but changed the groom? Their faces soured, and one suddenly retorted, what's the point? The most important thing is the person. You can't marry someone who doesn't love you. A forced relationship never works out. I nodded in agreement, totally. If I were standing up there today, I'd be crying my eyes out with regret. Thank goodness Howard can enjoy that happiness instead. Those guys turned green with frustration and just turned their backs to me, staying silent. After a while, Wendy and Howard came by to toast us. Wendy had dark circles under her eyes and didn't look happy, more like she was at a funeral. We raised our glasses together. Congratulations. Wendy stared at my glass but didn't drink hers. She bit her lip and suddenly asked, "Didn't your girlfriend come with you?" Her tone was off. The room got quiet immediately. Howard gently tugged at her. "Maybe she's just busy. I heard she's still in her junior year of college and works part-time," he said softly. Wow, I didn't expect Howard to be digging into Nina's life like that. Aren't he and Wendy back together? Why's he so interested in me? Doesn't it tire him out? Those guys who were gossiping earlier chuckled like they heard a joke. Still a junior? And has a part-time job? So just a broke student? Huh? Yeah, not so great after all. Many of those relationships don't last. You like her for her youth. She likes you for your money. Feel like a prince much? I was about to snap back when a familiar voice interrupted. Nick. I turned around instinctively to see Nina walking over with her long legs. She wore a black gown, showing off her perfect figure that could make anyone weak in the knees. Everyone's eyes were glued to her. Some young guys even blushed, staring at her intently. Nina stopped beside me, bent slightly, and smiled. Flight got delayed. Sorry I'm late. Nick, don't be mad. Okay? Who's gonna be upset when she's around? Looking like this. Quickly shook my head. No. Why didn't you text me about the delay? This wedding isn't that important. It doesn't matter if you come or not. Traveling is exhausting. Wendy paused. Howard almost failed to maintain his smile. Nina shook her head. Nothing's more important than you. Despite knowing she was saying it for everyone to hear, my heart skipped a beat, meeting her clear eyes. With such stunning beauty, who could resist? I whispered, but isn't it tiring for you? Nina chuckled, no worries. I came back on my uncle's private jet. My eyes widened, and everyone fell silent. Nina pointed upward. He was heading back, so I joined. Oh, by the way, this hotel's top floor has a private helipad. Wait a minute, is this building your uncle's? I asked in disbelief. Howard clenched his wine glass, nearly breaking it, and forced a smile. It can't be right? The owner of this building has a different last name than your uncle? This building isn't my uncle's, Nina said. Howard relaxed, but then Nina added, it's my dad's. They have different last names because one's with my grandpa's, the other with my grandma's. Howard and his group of girlfriends were speechless. My colleagues kept making signals at me, like, you found not just a stunning girl, but a rich one too. How do I explain I just found this out today? Wendy suddenly said, Nick, your drinking sucks. Better stick to juice. Howard turned sharply, his face pale for a split second, as many began exchange confused looks. I almost rolled my eyes. Did she just act this way in front of her new husband? Doesn't she fear divine retribution? Before I could refuse, Nina took my glass and said, we sincerely congratulate you too. Then drank it herself and added with a smile, oh, and although this building isn't my uncle's, the hotel is. In the spirit of generosity, enjoy a 10% discount on today's venue and drinks. If you ever plan another wedding, 20% off. Before the wedding ended, I left with her. Was what you said true? Though I believed her, I had to ask again. Nina seriously nodded, of course. If they ever remarry, they each get a 20% discount. I playfully tapped her. I'm serious. If your family is so loaded, why work part-time? Nina's eyes softened into a gentle, earnest look. I've always wanted to use my looks to earn a living. I was speechless, and then she burst into laughter. It was just a misunderstanding. Back then, Mike's wife mentioned they needed a model for Mike's store. They couldn't find anyone suitable at the time, so they asked me to fill in. I went, but then the other model they were working with suddenly had something come up, so the shoot got canceled. I didn't expect to run into you later. Mike's wife is quite the busy bee. Ever since the store was handed over to Mike, she barely shows up every couple of weeks. No wonder. I glanced at her face again, thinking to myself, oh well, she's definitely got what it takes to be a model. It just depends on whether she wants it. Funny thing is, she's super low-key. You'd never suspect it. But anyway, I appreciate you today. Not only did you help me out of a bind, but you also had my back. I gave her shoulder a pat and said with a smile, come on, I'll drive you back to school. Nina replied, let me drive. I gave her a once-over and tossed her the keys with a smile. All right, Little miss needs her dignity too. Nina gave me a quiet look, her eyes dark as night. I'm not that young. That didn't sound right at all. Nina's lips moved slightly, like she wanted to keep talking. I cleared my throat. Okay, you're not young. I'm the younger one, alright? Guess I'll let Sister Nina be my chauffeur then. Saying that, I avoided her gaze and got into the passenger seat. Then it hit us both. Nina had been drinking, so I ended up driving after all. A moment later, the car was on the move. It was pretty quiet inside, which I couldn't stand, so I struck up a conversation. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you about the competition. How'd it go? Nina replied, I got the gold. I was surprised. Seriously? That's awesome. After finding out she was competing, I looked it up. It was a national college contest that happens every 2 years and is really prestigious. Only the best of the best compete, and she hauled back a gold. Nina chuckled at my amazement. It wasn't too tough this year. I shook my head, giving her a thumbs up. You're being way too humble. Just having that on your resume is enough to beat out loads of people your age. No wonder your classmates call you Sister Nina. Bet you have lots of admirers at school. Nina suddenly said, but I don't like them. I was left speechless. It felt like there was more to that sentence, but I wasn't ready to hear it. My heart pounded, feeling anxious out of nowhere. I quickly changed the subject. You can drop me off at that corner ahead. Nina paused. That's still a block from school. I interrupted, pretending not to notice her momentary surprise. It wouldn't look good if your classmates saw us. My problems are solved, and it'd be a shame if we ruined your romantic prospects. Wendy and Howard are married now, so I really don't need her pretending to be my girlfriend anymore. Nina's voice went sharp and cold, like she was holding back something. The mood in the car soured instantly, like a chill had swept through. I hesitated, then steeled myself. Oh, we haven't settled up. I'll transfer you the money now. Nick. Nina said my full name for the first time. I flinched slightly with my phone in hand. I knew how ridiculous I sounded. Nina didn't need the money at all. She came back just to keep her promise, so I wouldn't have to go through that wedding by myself, feeling awkward and humiliated. But Nina, we're not right for each other. I heard my own steady voice as I spoke and unbuckled my belt, getting out of the car. Nina was quick. She followed me immediately, swinging her door open and coming around the front to block my way. I tried to walk away, but she grabbed my wrist, staring me down. I don't believe you don't feel anything for me. I looked at her, then impulsively kissed her. Nina went rigid, but only for a second. She quickly gathered herself and took control. At first, she was awkward, but she's sharp and quickly figured it out. Before long, she had the upper hand. Breathless, I could hardly catch my breath and had to take in air through her lips. Her kisses grew deeper, a boldness in them that was almost overwhelming. I don't know how long we stood there before she finally relented, resting her head on my shoulder. Her soft hair tickled my face, her breath hot and heavy. Her voice was husky. You like me too, don't you? Petted her hair. Is this enough? Nina stiffened, pulling back to look at me, disbelief in her eyes. Her voice shook. What? I grinned at her. I tried. I really don't feel anything for you. But if it makes you happy, that's fine by me. She opened her mouth but couldn't find the words. I leaned in a bit, asking with a low chuckle, or do you need more before you'll stop clinging on? Nina looked at me like she was seeing a total stranger. She tossed my hand aside and walked away, looking a bit defeated but never turned back. You're crazy. That girl genuinely cares for you. And this is how you treat her? You're such a jerk. Mike shouted at me over the phone. I rubbed my temple. What was I supposed to do? I'm 6 years older than her. We're not a match. Wouldn't it be worse just to date for kicks? Mike was exasperated. How are you so sure you won't last together? You think age is an issue, but maybe she doesn't. All I know now is you hurt her, messed with her heart. Feeling a bit guilty, but what's done is done. No turning back now. After that day, Nina and I cut all ties. Life seemed to settle back to how it was. I didn't expect to hear about Wendy quitting her job. A few co-workers whispered about it. Why'd she quit? Wasn't she doing fine? Maybe her husband didn't want her working at the same company as Nick anymore. I raised my hand in exasperation. Guys, I'm still right here, you know. She got divorced, someone chimed in. I heard they had a huge fight right after the wedding. They even trashed the hotel's entrance. Wendy was humiliated and asked for a divorce right there. Everyone turned to look at me. I was dumbfounded. I had left early that day, so I had no clue what went down. Oh well, what's there to hide? People always want more than they have. Seriously. He should have expected karma when he swooped in on someone else's fiancé. Goes around, comes around, right? Didn't you see how out of it she was during the wedding? Nick, she's definitely still into you. Quickly said, don't jinx things like that. Everyone burst into laughter. Nick's new girlfriend is quite the firecracker. Definitely no comparison to Wendy. Felt a bit hurt. For some reason, I opened Nina's school's forum. Someone as popular as her must have a ton of posts about her. But then I noticed something unexpected. Nina's name was there, but so was mine. Shock. School beauty Lynn dumped by handsome brother. Even beauties can be dumped. I clicked in shock. The photo showed Nina standing in front of me, head slightly bowed, reaching towards me carefully like she wanted to hold my hand. I'm leaning against a car, head turned, looking like I'm smiling but also indifferent. Anyone who saw it would think I'm the jerk who coldly ditched his sweet sister. No way. Nina. Someone so proud. Acting this humble? That's harsh, even for a brother. If it were me, no way I'd let a beauty go. But oh, that brother isn't ordinary. He had a fiancée before, almost got married, but then got stolen away. Turned to Nina just for fun. How could she stand a chance against that? That anonymous comment blew up the thread. My brow twitched. Anger didn't even have time to hit before I read another comment. Oh, wasn't that car accident right on the day they broke up? Maybe got so hurt it turned into a mishap. My heart plummeted. Nina got into an accident? And on that day, I couldn't read any more comments. My mind was a mess. How did this happen? Did I become the villain here? What's her condition now? I quickly opened Nina's contact information, but texting seemed too slow. Calling would surely be better. But before dialing, I hesitated. In what capacity was I calling her now? I was the one who said to cut her off. Forget it. Grinding my teeth, I rushed to the boss's office for leave, then bolted out of the company, heading straight to her school. I remembered the forum mentioned she was back at school. But when I got there, I realized I had no idea where she was. All I could do was ask around until I found her dorm building. And I waited all afternoon. Many times I almost called, but couldn't bring myself to do it. I kept convincing myself I was just here to check on her. As long as she was fine, I could relax. The sky darkened as students trickled back, but I never saw the familiar figure. A girl stopped in front of me, surprised. Brother? I blinked, recognizing Nina's friend from that night by the school gate. Hey, I need to see Nina. Is she around? The girl suddenly looked awkward. She's out with Felix today. Might be back late. Felix, the tall, handsome guy who had a crush on Nina. In that moment, feelings bubbled up that I couldn't pinpoint, like cotton stuffed in my chest, leaving me stifled. The girl scratched her head. How about I call her? No need, I smiled. It's nothing urgent. If she's out with a guy, it means she's probably okay, right? That's good then. We said goodbye and I turned to leave. Now all I wanted was to escape this place. But just around the corner, I bumped into a tall, upright figure. Nina. She stood with a crutch in one hand, and a guy next to her gently supporting her. They looked close. In that instant, regret washed over me. I shouldn't have come. I never knew seeing her this close with another guy would hurt this much. Suddenly, Nina seemed to sense something, glancing over. Almost instinctively, I ducked behind a tree. Nina looked away, turning to Felix beside her, voice cool. I'll say it for the last time, let go. Felix was turned, so I couldn't see his face. His voice sounded hurt. I'm just worried about you. I was taken aback. This didn't sound like a couple. Nina took a step back, freeing her hand. I think I've been pretty clear, Nina said. I don't like you. Felix was silent, then suddenly asked, what kind do you like? Then, Instantly, I knew he meant me. Nina's voice was cold. Not your concern. Felix's emotions flared. He's way older. Nearly married someone else. What's so special about him? He didn't even bother to check on you when you got hurt. He doesn't care about you. Nina abruptly cut him off, asking coldly, "What makes you think that?" Felix's voice halted. In the ensuing silence, Nina stated with certainty, "The rumors on the forum are your doing." Clicked in my head. Few at her school had seen me, and it wasn't hard to figure out who started those rumors. Felix's voice cracked with tears. "So what if they are? Isn't it true? Wake up, Nina. He's just toying with you. What does he take you for?" "Of course, a girlfriend," I spoke up, continuing for her. Felix looked back at me, shocked. Nina's eyes were on me too, sharp and burning. I approached her, checking her leg first. "Why are you so careless? Does it still hurt?" Nina purses her lips. "It doesn't hurt." She didn't answer my first question, but from the way she's acting annoyed, it seems like there's really no big deal. I feel a sense of relief and finally turn to Felix. "Kid, did no one ever tell you not to spread rumors casually?" Felix's face goes red and white. Probably didn't expect to get caught talking bad about someone behind their back. "Thanks for caring about Nina, but relationships are a personal matter. Only people involved can truly understand. This is the first time my little one and I had an argument, and although we're inexperienced, we don't really need outsiders giving advice." I take out my phone. "What's your WeChat? I'll transfer you the nurse fee for this whole situation." Felix shoots me a resentful look and runs off crying. I can feel Nina's gaze on me, impossible to ignore. I give a light sigh and turn to her. "If you're hurt, you shouldn't be up and about. Plenty of time to meet boys, no rush." I didn't ask him out. Nina responds without a thought, realizing she might have overreacted, then turns her head away. "I just wanted to make sure he wasn't the one causing trouble online." She whispers, "I don't care what they say about me, but they should never speak ill of you." I can hear something inside me crumble. Could this girl be more direct and honest about her feelings? Pure and straightforward. I step closer. Does it really not hurt? Probably no girl would admit it hurts at this moment, including Nina. A car ran a red light and brushed me. It wasn't serious. Nina pauses. "It has nothing to do with you, no need to feel guilty about it." She guesses instantly why I came today. I nod. "That's good." Nina hesitates, eyes dimming, her jaw tightening. "Then you can leave." Before she finishes, I lean over and plant a kiss on her lips. Nina looks surprised, frozen like a statue. Her hand lands on my waist, as if wanting to pull me closer, but she holds back. Her voice turns husky. "What does this mean?" I start to pull back, but she holds me tight, stubborn eyes locked on mine, waiting for an answer. I blink. "You asked if I had feelings for you, right?" "Not sure, let me try again." "So, do you know now? If not, want to try again?" Her whole body feels warm. I whisper in her ear, "Is it okay?" Nina's breathing is noticeably heavier, yet she nods obediently. "Whatever you want, really." My heart melts. I gently touch her ear. "Listen carefully, Nina. I don't need to test it, I already know. I like you." All doubts disappear when I see her. I realize how much I've missed her in a short while. Emotions are impossible to control, for her and for me. The next moment, Nina cups my face and kisses me, intense and urgent. At first, I can handle it, but then I can't stop myself. I pinch her waist. "If you don't want to aggravate your injury, you should probably stop right now." "Got it?" Nina's face turns crimson. She tucks her head into my neck, answering softly, "How could anyone not like Nina? I wonder how I got so lucky." Ask, "Nina, when did you start liking me?" Nina's voice is a bit muffled. "The first time I saw you." I'm taken aback. Push her away and look her in the eyes. "So, love at first sight, huh?" Nina holds my hand. "Yeah, I just thought, how can someone look so good in a suit? It'd be great if he wore it for me." I softly kiss the back of her hand. Her eyes gleam as she looks at me. "Nick, will you take wedding photos with me this time?" My heart skips a beat, and I can't help but smile. Of course. Wasn't that already the plan?